Hi, I'm here to talk about Captain America Brave New World. I haven't been a big fan of Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think that Captain America has been a decently cool character in the Ultimate Avengers animated films and in his guest appearances in 1990 Spider-Man, but uh, in the films, I haven't found Steve Rogers to be that compelling of a character, and part of me feels bad feeling that way because I believe that Captain America really is an inspirational, important character for a lot of people, and I would love to have a personal connection to him, like a lot of people seem to, but Steve Rogers didn't work for me that well in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I like Chris Evans as the Human Torch. Don't like his performances as Captain America that much. However, I have thought that Anthony Mackie is a charming actor, and I think that he's a good, talented actor. And Sam Wilson, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it felt like Sam Wilson had more of a standout personality to me. It felt like he was more charismatic. And so having him be the new Captain America is something that I've been okay with. And I still wasn't that excited for Captain America Brave New World because I've never been that huge of a Captain America fan, but there were some things that interested me. Um, a lot of stuff involving Thaddeus Ross seemed pretty cool, and when I heard more about some stuff that was happening, I was like, it actually sounded like a movie that I would enjoy, which felt weird to me because I'm used to thinking of Captain America as a boring character, even though I do think that the first Avenger, the Winter Soldier, and Civil War are okay films. They have some good stuff in it, but I thought that the lead character wasn't that interesting, so it was hard for me to be a big fan of those movies. But Brave New World seemed like it could be the Captain America film for me, and I decided to watch it. And Brave New World is easily my favorite Captain America film that there's been in the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far. I think that Sam Wilson, in my personal opinion, and it's perfectly okay if you don't feel the same way, I think that Sam Wilson's a more interesting protagonist than Steve Rogers by a significant amount in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think that he has more charisma, more personality, he's more fun to watch. He's a character that can tell some jokes and be a charming guy to watch during moments where things are going well. Then when things get really serious, he's ready to stop the jokes and be a really serious, dedicated hero. And I think that Sam Wilson not having super soldier serum is very important to make him stand out from Steve Rogers. And I'm such a huge Batman fan, and one of the things I love about Batman is him not having superpowers. It leads to a lot of stories being more interesting, where Batman, a lot of his villains, don't have power, so it's a lot more about really interesting stories. And I think that having a Captain America that doesn't have the super soldier serum, it helps Sam feel like a more interesting character to me than Steve's been in the previous films. And his Captain America really works for me, and I like him still having wings on his costume. It leads to Captain America scenes that have been more exciting than previous Captain America action scenes, and it's so fun to watch him with the wings. I think his costume is fantastic. I think it's the best live action Captain America costume that there's been. And Thaddeus Ross, I think, has been an interesting character, a supporting character that's done some interesting stuff in the background. And Thaddeus Ross having a really big role in a film, that's interesting to me. And I think that William Hurt did a really good job, and I miss him. And having a new actor take over, that easily could have gone wrong, but I think that Harrison Ford really works as Thaddeus Ross. I think that Thaddeus Ross is an interesting and actually nuanced character in the film. Thaddeus Ross could have easily just been a very bad person, and that could have been it, but there is some sympathetic qualities to him. He certainly has a lot of unlikable qualities, but there's a lot of great nuance to him that makes him a very compelling character. And one of the more consistently interesting characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in my personal opinion, and what's done with him, particularly later on in the film, I think is fascinating and really fun, and there's some good emotional stuff. I think that the new Falcon is good. A pretty fun character, very likable. Isaiah Bradley, a tragic character. There's some really good emotional stuff involving him. And there is a big surprise about who the villain is. And I think that the villain, a very cool villain, very exciting to see that villain, and played by an actor that I really like. So that worked out really well. I think that it has the most interesting plot of the Captain America films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and one of the most interesting plots that I've seen from a Marvel Cinematic Universe film. I haven't seen all the films, but Brave New World is one of my favorites in terms of plot, and one of my favorites in terms of action scenes. One of my favorites in terms of acting, because I think that Anthony Mackie is really good, a very underrated actor, and I really like that he got to lead a film. I think that having him lead a Captain America film was great. I think that Harrison Ford is really good, and really all the acting works really well. And I think that it's a very solid, underrated film. Uh, and I do feel confused about a lot of the mixed reception of the film. And if you don't like the film, um, you can let me know your personal thoughts on that. But in my personal opinion, I don't get a lot of the backlash. I also don't get a lot of the love for Steve Rogers as Captain America. And I get that he's a nice character. He's kind and heroic, but he just never really stood out to me as a super interesting character. Like Superman is a very kind character, very altruistic, but he often really stands out to me and has had a lot of really interesting stories in various films, where Captain America, even Steve Rogers Captain America, has been decently interesting in some cartoons and stuff, but in the films, he's never really been that interesting, in my personal opinion. And if you love the character Steve Rogers, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm just expressing how I personally feel. And I think that Sam Wilson has been a good supporting character in stuff, but I think that he's a much more interesting character as the lead, and I think that he really works as Captain America. And in my personal opinion, I think that he's easily the best Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think that he leads the film very well. Um, and I would love to see more of Sam Wilson as Captain America. I'd love to see more of Anthony Mackie getting lots of roles. And I would personally recommend the film. I really do think it is a good film, and there's a lot of stuff to enjoy in it. And I really want the film to do well, and I want the film to get lots of attention. I think it deserves it, and you can let me know about it. I made sure to make this a non-spoiler review. Um, I didn't want to give a lot of big stuff away, and let me know what you think.